Hello, Fac from Fac Ironworks. Welcome to this video. At long last, I am getting into the ironwork of my Hobbit hole project. I'm about 2 years into this whole thing, construction and everything. I've got the shell made. Now I'm finally getting to the ironwork. Specifically today, we are doing the hinges for the inner door. There will be hinges on the outer door as well. Those are the actual functioning hinges. The inner door here, these are actually dummy hinges or faux hinges as they're called. But they will provide a strapping and help make this door a little bit more rigid. So the outside hinges, I'm getting another guy I'm going to do a collab with. We've been talking for a few years on this, and it keeps getting pushed aside because of COVID and everything. But anyway, we've got a design set up for that. The inside, I wanted to do something different, and the outside, I find that design is a very masculine, aggressive sort of design. In the inside, I wanted to do something juxtaposed to that, and more feminine, if you will. I wanted to do something very whimsical, and I kind of wrestled with what I should come up with. I really like Art Nouveau as it comes to ironwork, and that was really what I was thinking for this. Then one day I stumbled across on Instagram a woman named Victoria, a Ukrainian, and she has a site called Forged Francova. And she designs very elegant wrought ironwork, and does a lot of Art Nouveau, which I think is just fantastic stuff. So I was blown away by her stuff. So I thought, you know what? I've never actually paid someone to design ironwork for me. Usually I end up designing my own stuff, and I'm not quite happy to do that. But I thought, here I'd like to get a feminine perspective, and I wanted to see where she would take it. I really liked her style, and I think she really had a good feel for Art Nouveau, where I find it's something that I feel a little clunky when I design it. The asymmetry, I don't know if I have enough courage to veer away from symmetrical stuff to make asymmetry. Anyway, she did a great job. And Forged Francova, Instagram, I don't think she has a YouTube. We'll put a link in the description below. Also, Eric can one right here to her stuff. So what I did initially was I sent her a really rough pencil sketch of what I was thinking. I was thinking very organic. I'm sure you can't see this. Maybe we can scan it in. So I sent her that, explained what I wanted. She sent me a few different options. She sent me 3 different concept options and asked me to pick one. So I picked one and did some modifications on that, and we came up with something like that. Again, I apologize, you've probably not seen this. She then sent me a working concept sketch like that. I countered with a couple tweaks like that, and then ultimately she came up with the final design, which is this, which I was really quite happy with. I think this has a really elegant, I don't know, tenderly organic music dance. That's the effect that we're getting from this, and exactly what I was looking for the internal door. So then I took her sketch, I blew it up large, and then actually drew it onto a wooden template, or transposed it onto there. You'll see that on the video now. And then we started forging it. So basically this is forged and fabricated. So meaning I forged out various shapes, and then fabricated meaning I'm welding and then grinding them together to make everything flow. So it was made up of dozens of pieces that were then welded, ground, and put together. And you'll see that, and let's get into it right now. Alright, so I have transposed the drawing of the hinge onto my door here, my full-size template of the door, and in doing so I decided that that certain details, once they were in full size, I decided I would go into finer detail for example, things like this with this halfpenny end on the scroll here, I thought it might be kind of cool to actually bring that down to a very tiny curlicue. So I think that's what I'm going to do, just to make the whole thing very tendril-like and give it a heightened sense of elegance. I'm just trying to make the whole thing quite light and airy. So I'm just going to start forging a bunch of little scrolls there. Basically, I'll be making all these various pieces, then we'll lay this on a table and start welding them together, and it will all become one piece. But let's begin by forging some little scrolls. All right, so I'm into the process of making the longer bars for the hinge feature here, and what I'm using is 1/2-inch round bar, and then what I'm doing with that is flattening it out and then rounding it over to create a the cross section. I'm trying to make a rectangular bar, but I want to use the round because of the irregularity of it and the softer edges. If I started with just a rectangular cross section and try to hammer that in, I still end up with kind of sharper sides. I just don't find it softens up quite as much as this, and I'm trying to create that very organic, feminine sort of aspect to it. So rounded, softened, that's what the order of the day is. I'll just demonstrate this. Hi there! I'm doing my Ron Jeremy pose once again because it was so popular when I did my tiling the floor video. So here we are in the next video using it again, so stay classy, San Diego. San Diego? Anyway, moving forward, this is what I've come up with now. A couple days of forging to get all these pieces roughed out now, and it's pretty much ready for me to assemble these various pieces into one. But before I do that, I want to drill many holes and get ready for it to fasten on that way. And then I also need, there's one little squiggle there that we have yet to do. So we'll be filming that today. We'll be making that out of some pieces. Okay, so I've arbitrarily grabbed a couple of pieces of steel I had that I've been using for the other pieces. I need to do this sort of flattened area here. I always think these pieces look like a stomach or digestive system of sorts. That's what I've been thinking as I've been making them. And then I've got to do this little zigzag on here. So I think I'm going to use the 5/8 round to create that, and then we'll use this piece here to forge out that. Let's begin. All right, moment of truth. I'm going to start assembling the pieces now. I've got them roughly laid out. I got to do a little bit more jiggling to get all these pieces into place, and then I start tacking it with the welder. Right now I've got, I don't know, probably about 10, 12 pieces. I want to make this into 2 pieces. There's going to be a disconnect right here, so the bottom hinge and the top hinge will still separate, but they're going to be really awkward. And I actually might, now that I'm thinking about it, is bolt these to this piece of plywood in order to transport it to the door and then take it out. Otherwise I've got this floppy, ridiculous mess that is probably not going to go well. So right now basically all I'm doing is just, once everything is lined up, I start tacking it into position with the welder. All right, just thought of this. I thought I'd mention before I forget to do that. You'll notice if you go over this that I've done alternating overlaps here to give it visual interest and try to create a Celtic knotwork sort of effect. I always like that, where it's alternating in that respect, and it gets visually very interesting, I think, when that happens in this area here. So that was just one of the features on this that I got the sketch from Victoria and everything, but it doesn't really show the intersections, and that's kind of a little detail that I injected on my own. And then of course I added 2 collars here, which are just going to cover up the weld seam there. So I need to fit those in and get them welded on. I think that just gives it a little tidbit there. Also, I found there was this little triangle here that I felt looked too open, so I just threw in another little curlicue in there. I think that just adds kind of a visual little excitement, if you will. So that's it. I'm now in the final phases here. I've got all the pieces tacked. And now what I need to do is do the finish welding and then carefully grind all this. The finish actually is just going to be a natural finish. I'm just going to leave it like this and let it patina or rust out slowly over time. I like how that look goes, and I think it'll give it a nice mellow natural look. So you'll see me in 2 days and we'll actually do the install, and I'm very excited. Okay, so moment of truth. I've got my pieces just roughly thrown onto my template there. I've got a center line here, and I've already drawn the corresponding center line here, and that is what I use to orient myself into position there. So I'm now just trying to find out where my initial piece will go, and then I'm just going to hang it up using some deck screws. Just want to get it roughly into position, get the 3 pieces. It turned out into 3 pieces, by the way, and get them positioned and everything in place, and then we can do the final fastener. So here we go. See what happens. Okay, 20 minutes of fiddling around and I've got it in position now where I'm happy with it. So just using deck screws to get that done. Now I'm going to put the final fasteners in some of the major holes. I'm putting these decorative lag bolts that I have. This is a 2-inch lag bolt with a square head on there. And then for the remainder, since there's a lot here, I'm going to stud it in with these wrought head nails, they're called. Inch and a half wrought head nail and our 2-inch square lag with a 1/4 inch thread on it. So these square nails slice into the wood and bind in there better than a round nail, so they're supposed to have some pretty good holding power. Let's see if they actually suck this into the door. Good so far. Tell by my expression that I'm giddy as a schoolgirl. Actually, I'm pretty pumped. This looks great. I'm really happy with it. Incidentally, the finish, I'm just leaving this natural steel. I just sanded it a bit just to pull out the highlights, give it a little more drama for the photo shoot here. But it's just going to rust and patina over time and just gently brown out. That's what I'm looking for on this particular piece. So that's it. This is the inside door. Of course, we never even talked about this. There will be a lock mechanism and latch. That will happen at a much future date. I have to design and come up with something cool for that. But plenty of time for that. That's it for this video. Stick around. We'll be doing the outside door. We've got some other stuff here. Eric, you just pan over here. Coming up soon, the fireplace. I want to do a fireplace crane here to hold a cauldron, and then I need to do some andiron. So that is upcoming projects. That is it for now. Stick around, likes, and check out our Patreon page. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. There's a lot that's going to be happening in this project, and you're going to want to see it. So that's it. See ya.